Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Net Talks podcast. As always, it's your host DJ Pablo. Now, this is the match preview for the game against Brentford. And basically, this is a preview that I had to think deep as to what kind of lineup or try to predict what Ruben Amorim was going to choose. And basically, so I pondered over it, and I have thought through and all of that, and it's not coming to me basically because of obviously the players that are at risk of having injuries and all of that. But we're still going to do the preview anyway. And Amorim has already stated, if you have not watched already, please go watch a press conference review that we just released on the channel a few minutes ago or a few hours ago, depending on when you're watching this video. And basically, we're trying to tell from what Amorim is saying in the press conference that, or basically, what kind of lineup is he going to put up against a very strong, resurgent, probably some roller coaster kind of Brentford side, but with informed players in front, goal scoring players in front of or the attacking side of Brentford. But still, we have to still play this game. We have to, decide which team is going to play this game. So let's get started. On Sunday, football returns for Manchester United as we travel to the GTEC Community Stadium to face Brentford in the Premier League, hot off a commanding 3-0 victory at Athletic Club in Bilbao. Ruben Amorim's Reds look to shake off recent league frustrations and rediscover winning form drastically and domestically. Now, standing in our way is Thomas Frank's tactically sharp Brentford. Yeah. Unbeaten in 4 and brimming with confidence after a strong win at Nottingham Forest. Now, let me know your thoughts and feelings about this game. What do you think Ruben Amorim should do for this game as we go on and try to analyze and try to preview the game? If we're talking about form guide, basically, with form guide, and there's a whole lot to think about with form and everything in between, and how Manchester United intends to attack this game or how Manchester United intends to approach the game. But there's a whole lot, like I said, to think about. But we have to still move forward, right? Now, with regards to form guide, Manchester United intends have played Brentford several times. And if we're going to look at them basically from the Premier League perspective, we would say, okay, the last couple of games, say 5 games, Brentford basically have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And Man United, in the last 5 games in the Premier League, we have 2 draws and 3 losses. And then in all competitions, we have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses, while Brentford have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Right? And we've played Brentford basically a couple of times. 19 times in all of our Premier League histories and all of that. And we beat them the last game. We drew 1-1 the game before that. We beat them the one before that, and we beat them before that. So we've only lost to them once. But there has been, in 19 games, 6 wins, 4 draws, and 6 wins, 4 draws, 6 wins for Brentford, and 9 wins for Man United, with 4 draws between both teams. So there's a whole lot to look at when it comes to stats for Brentford, right? Now, with United's recent form, or European form, being spotless as we're unbeaten in the Europa League and in all of Europe, in all 72 teams participating in Europe, and now with 1 foot in the final. But the Premier League has told a different story lately, right? Since the last international break, we failed to register a win in 5 league games. Exactly. Now, our last 3 points came in mid-match away at Leicester City. It has been tough. Now, Brentford, meanwhile, are quickly building momentum, and they've gone 4 matches without defeat, including impressive draws against Chelsea and Arsenal, and a back-to-back win against Brentford and Nottingham Forest. Now, they are buzzing at just the right time, and this is probably the right time for them to face Man United because they're a very fast-paced side. And as I talked to you about earlier, head-to-head, historically, this fixture favors Man United, and we've only lost 1 in the last 12 encounters with Brentford, winning 9, and the single defeat was the 4-0 shocker back in 2022 when when Erik ten Hag first joined Manchester United. Interestingly, United tend to come alive late against Brentford. 10 of the last 12 league goals against them have come in the second half, with 3 in stoppage time. Mason Mount's 97-minute winner on our last visit is a prime example. So it's very key for us to kind of think about this and all of that. But we're going to go forward, seeing as it looks like it's a no game, but it's a real game, right? So with regards to how Brentford play tactically, Brentford under Thomas Frank are a well-drilled, tactically fluid side. Their primary build-up shape is a 1-3-2-5, flooding the midfield with half spaces. Now they prioritize short passes through central overloads, keeping players close to minimize risk and maximize control. Now, from set pieces, they are deadly. Whether it's corners, whether it's long throwings or deep free kicks, Frank's attention to detail shines. Brentford's routine often results in chaos inside the box and easy goals. Defensively, they switch between a low 5-3-2 block and a high press man-to-man system, squeezing space aggressively when the opportunity arises. Our transitions, with regards to transitions, they are fast and vertical, often targeting the space between the centre backs and the full backs, with wing backs and attacking midfielders busting into the box. Now, that is how Brentford play. But we're going to go to basically the predicted lineup for Brentford. Now, with predicted lineup for Brentford, we're going to go with Flecken in goal, and then we'll go with Van der Beek and Collins. So they'll play 4-2-3-1 based on their last game. Now they'll go with Van der Beek and Collins in centre back, and then they'll go with Luis Porter and Coyote in right back, Luis Porter left back, and then they'll go with Yarmolenko. Basically, they'll go with Yarmolenko in midfield with Norgard in the midfield as the two holding sixes, and then Damsgaard as the attacking mid, and then Mbeumo and Shad on the left on either side of the attacking mid, either side of Damsgaard, and then we go with Wissa in the attack. Wissa is an informed striker and Mbeumo is their informed player. So basically that is pretty much all about Brentford, right? Then the next thing is going to be basically key player for Brentford. With key player for Brentford, we're gonna go with Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo is Brentford's key player. 38 games played, 3,217 minutes, 18 goals, 7 assists, all competitions for the 25-year-old Cameroonian international. He scored 2 goals in the last 2 games, 2 against Brighton, and I believe he didn't score against Nottingham Forest the last game they played. So, and they won 2-0. So basically, that is key player for Brentford, Bryan Mbeumo. Another key player for Brentford is also their informed striker, and this person is in the person of Yohan Wissa. Yohan Wissa has played 35 games, 2,720 minutes, 18 goals, 3 assists. Top striker. He scored 3 goals in the last 3 games. 28-year-old, the Democratic Republic of Congo international. So it is what it is. We have to, just move on with this one, because I know that we are focused on Europe, but we have to also try to gather or gain as much points. And I'm going to tell you my match prediction, scoreline prediction for that game, for this game. Now we move over to how Manchester United play. Now, how Manchester United play is pretty straightforward, as I always say. Manchester United's playing style and lineup news. Ruben Amorim has begun to leave his tactical imprint on the United squad. So we expect a controlled possession, high pressing, and fluid attacking combination. With the Europa League second leg on the horizon, some rotations are likely, most probably heavy rotations. Ruben Amorim has said it in the press conference that he will potentially do rotate, and we never can tell. We might expect a heavy rotation, or we might just expect something very light, but maybe a combination of older players and younger players. But let's see how that goes. So rotation is more likely, and Ahmad and De Ligt made returns from injury in Bilbao and could feature again. Johnny Evans remains a doubt as he is being carefully managed, but Amorim may also give opportunity to exciting youngsters like Harry Amas, Chido or Sekou Kone, all of whom trained with the squad in Spain. Now, Bruno Fernandes, Rasmus Højlund and Kobbie Mainoo remain central to our attacking and midfield engine. So don't be surprised if Amorim rests a few regulars, but expects them to stand by if things get risky, tricky. Now, if you notice, if you listened to how Ruben Amorim said something about like basically how he wanted to approach this game, he said that basically he was thinking of he didn't want to take risk when it came to injuries, but he also wanted to not want to take risk. He didn't want to take risk when it came to using the young players, but sometimes some risks might also need to be taken according to what he said. But if we're going to go by that, then this is my own carefully thought predicted lineup for Manchester United against Brentford in the Premier League. So my predicted lineup for Manchester United against Brentford in the Premier League goes like Andre Onana in net, and then we have Matthijs De Ligt in centre back, since he's just back from injury and probably already fits since he got a warm up in the game before, which is the game against Athletic Bilbao. And then we go with Luke Shaw, left sided centre back, and then we go with Johnny Evans. Although it's a doubt, I'll not be surprised if I see any other young player there, maybe Tyler Fredrickson or something, but we'll go with Johnny Evans. And then Johnny Evans, the right side of centre back, or maybe Lindelof, but let's go with Johnny Evans for this one. And then we'll go with Manuel Ugarte in mid to still create that, maintain that spine. And since he was subbed off pretty early in their last game, and he's always been subbed off in like around 60th, 65th minute, so we'll go with Manuel Ugarte in mid, and then Christian Eriksen in mid as the 2 6s. And then we have Harry Amas making another start in the game in the league, and probably go left wing back. And then we go with a surprise debut for Jadon Kamerson. This is what I think, and it's more like a sensible lineup. So Jadon Kamerson, since obviously Ruben Amorim has said that Nusa Majraoui is tired. And then up top we go with Mason Mount as one of the 210s, and then Kobbie Mainoo as one of the 210s. And then he could switch with Eriksen depending on how the game goes. And then we give a start for Chido Obi to rest Rasmus Højlund. So this is the kind of lineup I'm thinking about, and it's a lineup that, you know, basically feels like a heavily rotated one, but it's something that we can actually just think about and basically hope that we get something out of this game. So that's my predicted lineup. And then for key player for Manchester United, my key player for Manchester United in this game, considering how the lineup is Kobbie Mainoo. Now, Kobbie Mainoo has played 31 games surprisingly this season, despite the fact that he's been out injured a couple of times for a long periods of times as well. He's played 1,794 minutes. He scored 2 goals and he has 1 assist, but he's also going to be the key player. He scored in the last game against Olympique Lyon in that epic 5-4 win, and since then it's been just, you know, occasional coming in and, you know, playing and all of that. So he almost had a chance to score in the last game against Bilbao, I think. So Kobbie Mainoo is a key player for Manchester United in this one. And then basically how Manchester United can beat Brentford. I always give 4 points to secure 3 points under in this Brentford game. United must. So today we're going to give 5 points, but you just basically let's just deal with it from the perspective of trying to be positive, right? United must dominate wide areas. That's number 1. Brentford pack the midfield, and we must exploit the flanks, especially with overlapping runs from the fullbacks or wide underlaps from midfielders like Mason Mount and Kobbie Mainoo. Now, the second point is that Manchester United must match Brentford's intensity in transitions. They swarm second balls and look to counter quickly, because And then with this one, since Casemiro is going to be rested, Manuel Ugate's positioning and our centre-back's discipline will be very vital, especially with De Ligt. If we put De Ligt as the right-sided centre-back, and Johnny Evans is the centre of the centre-back, then it's also key because there's control and there's also speed on either side with Shaw, and at least some kind of speed with Shaw and De Ligt, but it is what it is. Also, number 3, we must be alert on set pieces. I mean, this is where Brentford thrive. Every defensive header and second ball must be won, no lapses. And I'm sure that Ruben Amorim will say that to them a lot. And then number 4 is going to be to break the low block early. Now, any early goal that we score forces Brentford out of the comfort zone. Quick transitions around the box and a creative movement from Mason Mount and from Mainoo would be very key to unlock them, right? So it is very key that the players are aware of things, and I'm sure Ruben Amorim would have told them, as I said earlier. Now, we should also use our squad depth wisely. We should use our squad depth wisely, even though Ruben Amorim has said that guys like Ahmad they don't have that burst of pace yet because they've been out too long, like 3 months. And so I'm thinking we could also still use fresh legs. So even if Jerry Kamasin doesn't start, probably Bendito Mantato, because he also travels to the squad. And I don't know what role Sekou Kene will play, but Bendito Mantato is also going to be there, and he might play that wing back role depending on what Amorim is looking for. He's left-footed as well. So fresh legs like Ahmad or even like Jenny Kamasin or Bendito Mantato could help stretch Brentford later on, especially for Ahmad, just as we've done before. So that's my thought on this. Now, what would be my score prediction for this game? My score prediction, I would have gone for a 1-1 draw, but I'm going to go for a hard-fought 1-0 win for Manchester United. Goal coming from probably Kobbie Mainoo, our key player. That's pretty much what my thought with predicted scoreline is going to be. So what are your thoughts and feelings about this one? What's your predicted scoreline for this one? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Tell me your predicted scoreline, tell me your predicted starting 11, and then we can build from there. So that is pretty much it. And then with regards to just the summary of everything, to conclude all of these things, this is just going to be a very tricky fixture on paper. A confident Brentford side at home with United juggling European ambitions, but it's also an opportunity. A win would not only restore belief in the Premier League campaign, but also maintain momentum heading into the second leg of the Athletic Club game semi-final in the Europa League. Now, also, another thing which you need to also consider is the fact that basically this is a time for Amorim to test out things and try to instill some control. Wolves lost to Man City just a few hours ago, and they are catchable. They are literally just 2 points ahead or 1 point ahead. I think they're 41 points and United are 39. So if we win our game against Brentford, we should be able to climb over them to 42 points. But it is what it is. There is hope that we can do that. And I'm a dreamer. It's going to be a hard-fought win. Most definitely going to be a 1-0 win as per my predictions. So we're looking forward to the second leg at Athletic Club at Old Trafford against Athletic Club. Ruben Amorim's Red will need to focus, composure, and stay composed in all situations, and also a touch of brilliance. And if we bring that, we will head back to Manchester with all 3 points and 2 away wins. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about this one. Do you think Manchester United is going to win this game? Do you think Manchester United is going to come back from this one? If you think so, please let me know in the comment section and we can build from here. So if you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'd have loved to bring you some stats about the game, but as I said to you earlier, Manchester United have the edge against Brentford in head-to-head, basically. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.